Welcome to the final helpful tips video. This one is for your final project in this class, the Global Insight Report. The Global Insight Report is worth 20% of your course grade. In this project, you are imagining that Chipotle were to enter Turkey as a way of global expansion. Your project consists of 4 equally weighted questions. Each question is worth 25 points. Please make sure to submit your answers in a Word document. PDF is not acceptable. Each of the questions should be about 1 page. Make sure that you double space and use Times New Roman 12-point font for your answers. This means that you have about 4 pages to answer 4 questions. Please do not go over the space allocation. You do not need to copy the question. Use all the allocated space, up to 5 pages, to answer the 4 questions. The first question asks you to identify 3 of the most relevant cultural dimensions in Turkey that Chipotle should consider in order to appropriately adapt to the local customer base. Cultural dimensions were discussed in Chapter 2. You would identify 3 cultural dimensions, name them, briefly define them, and explain how those cultural dimensions differ between the US, where Chipotle is headquartered, and Turkey, the market that Chipotle wants to expand into. This is question 1. In question 2, you're asked to look at contextual variable. The contextual variables are discussed in Chapter 3. Please make sure not to discuss culture. Culture is the subject of question 1. In question 2, you need to address the contextual variables. 1 contextual variable for the institutional context, and 1 contextual variable for the business environment. The institutional context includes things like the education system, social inequality, religion. The business environment includes things like ease of doing business, economic system, stage of economic development. Those are variables discussed in Chapter 3. In question 3, you're asked to refer to Chapter 6 and identify the multinational strategy that you think would be most appropriate for Chipotle in its expansion into the Turkish market. Remember, you discussed strategy in your exam about Target's venture into Canada. You're going to identify what multinational strategy you think is most suitable for Chipotle in its entry into Turkey. Again, this is a made-up scenario. Chipotle is not operating in Turkey. The different multinational strategies are the multi-domestic strategy, the international strategy, the transnational strategy, or the regional strategy. The second part of question 3, also located in Chapter 6, asks you about a mode of entry. There are different modes of entries that multinationals can use when entering new markets. For example, foreign direct investment, or a joint venture, or exporting. Think about which mode of entry would make most sense for Chipotle if it were to enter the Turkish market. The fourth question is a little bit of a freebie for you to identify 2 additional recommendations, in addition to all of the recommendations that you made in questions 1, 2, and 3. 2 new recommendations. Do not repeat culture or context or strategy, because those were discussed in the first 3 questions. Here you are asked to identify 2 additional recommendations that the leaders at Chipotle should consider when entering the Turkish market. Please do not repeat what you've already said in questions 1, 2, and 3. Every semester, I have students who look for the answers to this project on the internet. Please understand that this assignment is very heavily rooted in course material. Anything that you could find on a Google search is not going to be as good as the course material which you are now familiar with. Please do not heavily rely on the internet. It's okay to conduct research to get a better understanding of Turkey and the Turkish context, but please do not try to find the answers on the internet. They will inevitably not correspond with the assignments. Please let me know if you have any additional questions as you prepare to complete this assignment.